3 alien women appeared at my camp. Desire sparked in the night. First contact. Liam Torres squinted through the cracked visor of his helmet as emergency lights flashed red across the command console. His small research vessel spiraled toward the uncharted planet below, gravity pulling him into its mysterious atmosphere. Mayday, mayday. This is LSV Pathfinder. Engine failure, trajectory compromised, I'm going down. Static answered his desperate transmission as Earth grew more distant with each passing second. Whatever anomaly had pulled him off course had also severed his communication link. The ship shuddered violently as it penetrated the atmosphere. Liam's training kicked in despite the terror coursing through his veins. He diverted all remaining power to the landing thrusters, hoping to slow his descent enough to survive impact. The lush landscape below, vibrant with purple vegetation and silver waterways, rushed up to meet him. When consciousness returned, Liam found himself sprawled beside the smoking remains of the Pathfinder. His helmet lay shattered nearby, yet somehow he could breathe. The air carried a sweet, almost metallic taste that tingled against his tongue. Pain shot through his leg as he attempted to stand. Functional but broken, he muttered, assessing his injuries. The medical kit had survived, allowing him to bandage the worst of his wounds. As night fell across this alien world, Liam constructed a makeshift shelter from the ship's debris and cataloged his remaining supplies. 3 days of emergency rations, a portable water purifier, and basic survival tools. Under the light of twin moons, he recorded a log entry on his partially functioning tablet. Day 1 on unknown planet. Location approximately 16 light-years from planned course. Survival probability. He paused, looking at the unfamiliar constellations above, yet to be determined. What Liam couldn't see were the eyes watching him from the dense underbrush. 3 distinct pairs observing his every move with keen interest. By morning, Liam had established a perimeter around his crash site, collecting samples of the surrounding flora. The plants pulsed with bioluminescence when touched, responding to his presence as if sentient. He was cataloging a particularly reactive specimen when the sensation of being watched overwhelmed him. "Hello?" he called out, scanning the tree line. "Is anyone there?" A rustling sound drew his attention to a clearing where the purple foliage parted to reveal a figure unlike anything he'd ever seen. It moved with liquid grace, its form shifting between solid and translucent as it approached. Gradually, the being stabilized into a humanoid shape, tall and lithe with iridescent skin that shimmered teal under the alien sunlight. Liam's scientific mind raced with observations even as his heart pounded in his chest. The being had a feminine appearance, with luminous eyes that seemed to change color with each blink. Her hair, or what resembled hair, flowed around her face like silver water, defying gravity. "You are injured," she said, the words forming perfectly in his mind, though her mouth made different movements. Liam stepped back, astonished. "You speak English?" A soft melodic sound escaped her. Laughter, he realized. "I speak no language, you know. We communicate through resonance. I am Nylara of the Vexorians. You have fallen into our sanctuary." "Liam Torres, astronaut from Earth," he responded, fighting the urge to reach out and touch this ethereal being to confirm she was real. "I didn't mean to trespass, my ship malfunctioned." Nylara circled him curiously, her movements fluid and hypnotic. "We have observed many things crossing our skies, but none have survived descent through the barrier. You are unexpected." "There are others like you?" Liam asked, noticing subtle movements in the surrounding vegetation. "Yes. We are 3 guardians of this sanctuary. The others are less certain about your presence." Her expression shifted to something more serious. "Your arrival disrupts patterns thousands of cycles old, Liam Torres." Their conversation was interrupted by a distant, haunting call that seemed to reverberate through the ground itself. Nylara's form rippled with tension. "You must come with me," she said urgently. "Night predators approach, and your blood calls to them. They will not distinguish between visitor and prey." Liam hesitated, glancing back at the wreckage of his ship, his only link to Earth and potential rescue. "My supplies will not save you from what comes," Nylara extended her hand, which now appeared solid though still shimmered with an inner light. Trust is required for survival, Liam Torres. As the alien sounds grew closer, Liam made his decision, reaching out to take her hand. An electric sensation passed between them at the contact, like nothing he had ever experienced. Warmth spread up his arm and through his body, momentarily dulling the pain of his injuries. Nylara's eyes widened in surprise. "Interesting," she whispered, more to herself than to him. "You feel it too." Together they moved deeper into the forest, Liam trying to memorize their path while fighting waves of dizziness. Whether from his injuries or the strange connection with Nylara, he couldn't tell. The vegetation seemed apart, before them, creating a path that closed behind them as they passed. "The others wait ahead," Nylara explained as they approached a massive tree with a trunk that glowed from within. "Elysia studies life patterns. She will want to understand how you function. Zaylara protects our history and secrets. She will want to know why you are here. And you?" Liam asked, studying her otherworldly features. "What do you want, Nylara?" She turned to him, her eyes shifting to a deep, mesmerizing blue. "I want to discover what it means that the stars have delivered you to us, Liam Torres. For nothing in Vexoria happens without purpose." As they entered the living structure, Liam glimpsed two more figures waiting in the shadows, one with violet-hued skin that seemed to pulse with energy, the other with deep indigo tones and an aura of ancient wisdom. Both regarded him with expressions that mixed caution with undeniable curiosity. Whatever lay ahead, Liam knew his life had irrevocably changed. The connection he already felt with Nylara sparked something primal and inexplicable within him. Something that whispered this was just the beginning of a journey that would transform not only his understanding of the universe, but of connection itself. "Welcome to Sanctuary," Nylara said softly as the living walls pulsed around them in harmony with her words. "Your new beginning." The Bond morning came to Vexoria in waves of amber light that filtered through the translucent walls of Liam's chamber. 2 weeks had passed since his crash landing, though time moved differently here. Days stretched and contracted according to the dance of the planet's twin suns rather than the rigid 24 hours he knew on Earth. Liam examined his leg, now nearly healed thanks to Elysia's interventions. The reserved Vexorian scientist had applied regenerative compounds derived from native flora, watching with analytical intensity as his human cells responded to the treatment. "Your recovery rate exceeds my calculations," Elysia said, appearing at the entrance to his chamber. Her violet skin shimmered with mathematical patterns that shifted with her thoughts, a visual representation of her constant analysis. Unlike Nylara's fluid movements, Elysia moved with precise, measured steps. Her golden eyes rarely blinked as she observed him, cataloging every human reaction and response. "I've always been a quick healer," Liam replied, standing carefully to test his weight on the injured leg. "On Earth, I was back on duty 3 weeks after breaking my arm during training. Doctors called it remarkable." Elysia approached, her head tilting slightly. "May I?" she asked, gesturing toward his leg. Liam nodded, now accustomed to her clinical examinations. Her touch was cool and sent tingling sensations across his skin, different from the warmth he experienced with Nylara, but no less intriguing. "Your cellular structure adapts to our compounds more readily than expected," she murmured, more to herself than to him. Fascinating. Over the past days, Liam had learned to distinguish between the 3 Vexorians not just by appearance, but by their unique energies. Nylara radiated warmth and diplomacy, always mediating between the others. Zaylara remained distant and watchful, appearing only occasionally to observe him with ancient eyes that seemed to see beyond his physical form. And Elysia, brilliant, methodical Elysia, approached him as a puzzle to be solved, a specimen to be studied. Yet beneath her scientific detachment, he occasionally glimpsed something more, a flicker of personal interest quickly masked by professional curiosity. "I've been modifying my equipment to map the region," Liam said, retrieving his tablet from beside the organic bed where he slept. "If I could access higher ground, I might be able to boost my signal strength." possibly make contact with any rescue vessels. Elysia's luminous patterns darkened slightly. The atmospheric barrier that protects Sanctuary distorts signals. Your people would need to be within the outer atmosphere to detect you. Then I need to find a way to amplify my transmission, Liam insisted, frustration edging his voice. Despite the wonder of this world, Earth remained his home, his responsibility. Elysia studied him for a long moment before saying, "The crystal heights would provide both elevation and natural amplification. The crystalline formations there respond to electromagnetic energy." She hesitated. "I could guide you there." Liam's eyebrows rose in surprise. "You would do that?" "For scientific purposes," she clarified quickly. "The journey would provide opportunity to observe your locomotion and adaptive capabilities in varied terrain." A smile tugged at Liam's lips. "Of course, purely scientific." As they gathered supplies for the journey, Nylara entered the chamber, her expression concerned when she learned of their plans. "The heights lie beyond the inner sanctuary boundaries," she cautioned. "Weather patterns there are unpredictable, especially during convergence season." "We'll monitor atmospheric conditions," Elysia replied, loading crystalline containers with what Liam had come to recognize as purified water. "The human requires data to establish contact with his kind." "His name is Liam," Nylara corrected gently, her gaze lingering on him. "And his safety is our responsibility while he dwells in Sanctuary." The unspoken tension between the two Vexorians wasn't lost on Liam. Though they functioned harmoniously, as guardians, he'd noticed subtle competitions when it came to his attention. Nylara offering cultural insights when Elysia dominated conversations with scientific queries, Elysia interrupting Nylara's historical narratives with precise factual corrections. Their journey began at midday, with Liam and Elysia following a winding path through forests where vegetation responded to their passage, either retreating or reaching toward them based on some criteria Liam couldn't discern. Elysia explained elements of Vexorian ecology as they traveled, her voice becoming more animated when discussing the interconnected consciousness of the planet's life forms. "All matter here shares information through quantum entanglement," she explained as they paused beside a silver stream. "Even these waters communicate with the air above and the soil below." Liam dipped his fingers into the cool liquid, watching as it momentarily took on a golden hue around his skin. "It's responding to me?" "To your bioelectric field," Elysia confirmed. "Unique among visitors. Most alien matter disrupts our planetary harmony, but you..." Her patterns pulsed with increased luminosity. "You seem to integrate." The sky darkened as they climbed higher into the foothills leading to the crystal heights. What started as a distant rumble quickly intensified into swirling clouds that spiraled directly above them. "Convergence storm," Elysia said sharply, scanning the terrain. "We need shelter immediately." The nearest outcropping offered minimal protection as the storm unleashed not rain but waves of energy that crackled across the landscape. Lightning-like tendrils reached down, transforming everything they touched. Vegetation morphed and shifted, some plants growing years in seconds, others transforming into entirely different species. "Stay close to me," Elysia instructed, pulling Liam against the rock wall. Her body partially shielded his as energy surged around them. A massive bolt struck nearby, sending a shockwave that dislodged their shelter. Liam reacted instinctively, pulling Elysia away from falling debris and covering her body with his own, as stone fragments showered down around them. When the immediate danger passed, he became acutely aware of their position, his arms around her, her face inches from his. Up close, he could see intricate patterns within her eyes, mathematical fractals of extraordinary complexity. "You protected me," she said, sounding genuinely surprised, "at risk to yourself." "Instinct," Liam replied, though he didn't move away immediately. "Human response to danger. Protect others." "Not logical," Elysia whispered. "I am more resilient to energy fluctuations than you. Logic isn't always the driving force for humans," Liam admitted with a small smile. Something shifted in Elysia's expression, a softening of her analytical gaze as she studied his face with new interest. Her hand lifted hesitantly to touch his cheek, tracing the contour from temple to jaw with scientific precision that nonetheless felt intimate. Your physiology responds to proximity, she noted, observing his quickened pulse. Increased heart rate, dilated pupils, elevated temperature. Yes, Liam acknowledged softly. That happens sometimes. It happens to me as well, she confessed, her patterns pulsing in what he now recognized as Vexorian embarrassment, an unexpected variable in my research. The storm intensified around them, forcing them deeper into the remaining shelter. Through the night, they huddled together for warmth and protection, sharing stories to distract from the dangers outside. Liam spoke of Earth and his journey through space, while Elysia gradually revealed more personal aspects of her life as a sanctuary guardian. We three were chosen for complementary attributes, she explained, as energy flashes illuminated her features. Nylara for empathy and connection, Zalara for historical wisdom and spiritual guidance, and I for analysis and innovation. And do you always function as a trio? Liam asked, curious about Vexorian social structures. Elysia's patterns shifted to a deeper purple. We maintain separate domains but unite for significant decisions. Our bond is unique, neither family nor mates as you might understand such concepts. And personal relationships? Do Vexorians form romantic connections? Her gaze met his, golden eyes reflecting the storm's energy. We form bonds based on resonant frequency compatibility. When two or more beings vibrate in harmony, connection naturally follows. Her voice lowered. Your frequency intrigues me, Liam. It resonates differently than expected. By morning, the storm had passed, leaving a transformed landscape. As they emerged from their shelter, Liam realized something had shifted between them as well. An intellectual curiosity evolved into genuine connection. The crystal heights loomed ahead, magnificent formations that caught the sunlight and fractured it into rainbows. But as Liam gazed at Elysia, watching her violet skin shimmer with renewed patterns of complexity, he wondered if his mission to contact Earth had become secondary to understanding the unexpected bonds forming on this alien world. We should proceed, Elysia said, though her usual clinical tone carried a new warmth. Much can be discovered at the summit. Liam nodded, following her lead while aware that the greatest discovery might not be scientific at all, but something far more profound developing between human and Vexorian beneath the alien sky. Forbidden knowledge, the crystal heights lived up to their name. Massive formations of translucent crystal stretched skyward as Liam set up his modified transmitter to contact Earth. Signal configured, Liam announced, activating the device. A shadow fell across them. Zalara stood several paces away, her indigo form stark against the crystal landscape. You should not be here, she stated, her voice resonating with deep tones that made the crystals vibrate. These heights are sacred ground. With a gesture, the crystals pulsed with light and Liam's equipment powered down. What did you do? He protested. Protected what must remain hidden, Zalara replied. She turned to Elysia with disapproval. You should have consulted before bringing him here. He poses no threat, Elysia countered, moving closer to Liam protectively. Zalara approached Liam directly and placed a cool hand against his forehead. Images flooded his mind. Star maps, ancient civilizations, and Earth but younger, with Vexorians interacting with early humans. When Zalara broke the connection, Liam staggered backward. What was that? A glimpse of the ancestral memory, Zalara replied. Your presence here is not accident. It was written in the pattern long before your birth. What pattern? Elysia asked. The pattern of convergence. The ancient records speak of a bridge bearer, whose genetic code contains the memory of both worlds. Both worlds? Liam echoed. Vexoria and Earth shared history once, Zalara explained, projecting images of ancient spacecraft and Vexorian human interactions. Our ancestors visited your world. Some remained, their genetic material merging with early humans. You're saying I have Vexorian DNA? That's why I can breathe your atmosphere. Not merely Vexorian DNA, Zalara corrected, but specific marker sequences from the original explorer lineage. That's why he integrates with our ecosystem, Elysia realized. The prophecy states that when Vexoria begins its final cycle, the bridge bearer would return carrying salvation in their blood. Final cycle? Liam asked. Our world is dying, Zalara revealed. The atmospheric barrier that protects us also slowly suffocates us. The three of us are among the last of our kind. How can my DNA help? Through resonance bonding, Zalara explained. A deep connection that allows genetic information to transfer between compatible beings. You mean through... He hesitated. Intimacy, Zalara confirmed. Not merely physical joining, but quantum entanglement between resonant frequencies. And this would need to happen with those whose genetic profiles are most compatible with yours, she stated. All three guardians with varying degrees of potential success. As they returned to Sanctuary, Liam found himself walking beside Zalara. You've known this since I arrived, haven't you? He asked. That's why you kept your distance. I feared what your presence might mean, she admitted. I find myself divided between duty and unexpected personal resonance with you. Nilara waited at Sanctuary's entrance, her expression relieved when she spotted them. As the three Vexorians gathered around him, Liam realized his heart was becoming as entangled as his fate. Fractured Harmony Sanctuary felt different after the revelations. Liam now recognized the subtle signs of degradation. Areas where the bioluminescence flickered irregularly, crystalline growths that had lost their luster. Nilara found him at dawn, overlooking the valley. Elysia and Zalara have shared what was discovered, she said. How are you processing this? How does anyone process learning they might be an alien civilization's only hope for survival? He turned to face her. It's overwhelming. Before they could continue, an alarm sound reverberated through Sanctuary. Boundary breach, Nilara explained. Something has penetrated the outer barrier. In the central chamber, Elysia monitored displays showing energy patterns across Sanctuary's perimeter. Zalara stood nearby, her expression grave. Degriders, Zalara announced. Energy constructs that accelerate breakdown of living systems. I'll go with you. Liam volunteered as the Guardians prepared to address the breach. Tension between the three Guardians became increasingly apparent as they moved through the Eastern Passage. At the boundary, shadowy entities slipped into Sanctuary, amorphous forms that absorbed light. Nilara and Zalara wove energy patterns to seal the breach while Elysia remained beside Liam. Suddenly, a degrader moved directly toward them. Elysia pushed Liam aside as the entity struck, engulfing her momentarily. Elysia collapsed, dark patches spreading across her violet skin. Without thinking, Liam placed his hands on the affected area. To everyone's astonishment, the corruption began to recede under his touch, golden light spreading from his hands into her damaged tissues. Impossible, Zalara breathed. Back in Sanctuary, the implications hung heavy between them. Your genetic compatibility is even more significant than we realized, Zalara stated. You reverse the degradation through direct cellular reprogramming. I felt your essence merging with mine, Elysia said softly. It was profound. That night, Liam found Zalara in the ancestral chamber. I've noticed the tension between you three, Liam said quietly. We have functioned harmoniously for centuries, Zalara acknowledged. Your presence creates new patterns that disrupt established harmonies. May I show you what I see when I look at you? She asked, extending her hand. Through their connection, Liam saw himself through Zalara's perception, carrying echoes of ancient Vexorians who had visited Earth eons ago. You see beyond what I am to what I might become, he whispered. Their moment was interrupted by Nilara's arrival, reporting unusual activity at the boundary. In the monitoring chamber, Elysia announced, I've detected transmissions from beyond our atmosphere. A rescue ship from Earth. The implications hung heavy in the chamber. Rescue meant return to Earth, unless he chose a different path. Unity and Starlight, the rescue vessel established orbit around Vexoria 3 days later. They'll attempt descent within 12 hours, Liam explained to the Guardians. Just beyond the eastern boundary. Do you intend to leave with them? Zalara asked directly. I don't know, Liam admitted. My life is on Earth, but what I've experienced here, he gestured helplessly. How can I simply leave? Before further discussion, alarm tones resonated through Sanctuary. The monitoring crystal flashed with urgent patterns. Multiple boundary breaches, Elysia reported, largest convergence of degraders ever recorded. They're drawn to the rescue vessel's energy signature, Zalara realized. Its approach has triggered systemic collapse. There must be something we can do, Liam insisted. The harmonic convergence, Zalara suggested. An ancient ritual for planetary renewal during catastrophic decline. Complete resonance bonding, Nylara explained. Not with one guardian, but with all three simultaneously. A quantum entanglement that would merge your genetic restoration capabilities with our combined knowledge. But at significant risk, Elysia added. No such bonding has ever been attempted with a non-Vexorian. The physiological strain could be profound and irreversible. The structure shuddered violently around them. We're out of time, Nylara stated. Choose now. Attempt the convergence or evacuate. Show me what to do, Liam said simply. They moved to Sanctuary's heart, a triangular platform where the Guardians took positions at the corners, leaving the center for Liam. As he stepped onto the platform, energy spiraled upward around him. Open your mind to the frequencies, Zalara instructed. Feel the resonance patterns emerging between us. As the ritual intensified, boundaries blurred. Liam experienced each Guardian's perspective while they experienced his journey. Together they perceived Vexoria as a living entity, its failing systems, its desperate need for renewal. The moment of true convergence came with blinding intensity, 4 separate beings functioning as a single consciousness. Together they projected the harmonic pattern outward, touching every degraded system. From orbit, the rescue vessel's crew witnessed golden light spreading across the planet in fractal patterns, pushing back darkness that had been advancing for centuries. As Liam's vision cleared, he found himself permanently connected to each Guardian through shimmering threads of light. The barrier restores itself, Elysia reported in wonder. Degrader entities are dissipating. Sanctuary lives, Nylara confirmed joyfully. And regions we thought lost forever show signs of renewal. Liam felt the change within himself. His consciousness expanded to include awareness of Vexoria's living systems and his permanent connection to each Guardian. He was still human, yet also something more. A bridge between worlds. What will you tell them? Nylara asked gently as the rescue vessel prepared for descent. The truth, that I've found my purpose here. That Earth and Vexoria need a connection that I'm uniquely positioned to provide. They may not accept such an explanation, Elysia cautioned. Then I'll build that context, Liam replied with newfound certainty. As bridge bearer between worlds, that becomes my mission. Helping Earth understand Vexoria, and Vexoria reconnect with Earth. As they emerged to meet the approaching rescue vessel, Liam walked with the 3 Vexorian Guardians as equals, connected to each uniquely yet functioning together in unprecedented harmony. What had begun as a mission failure had transformed into something no one could have predicted. A bridge between worlds, a renewal of planetary consciousness, and bonds that transcended species itself. Liam stepped forward to greet his past and introduce it to his future, one where harmony had been rebuilt stronger, where desire had sparked not just in the night but across the cosmos, igniting possibilities as endless as the stars above.